What you see is what you get. Residents of Manhattan are seeing too many clowns and not enough parking spaces available in Aggieville.
Plans are in store for the events, just as we're in store for the beginning of fall.
This is KKSU-LD, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University. You're watching Channel 8 News.
From the Little Apple, welcome to Channel 8 News. It's October 13th, 2016. I'm Mitch May.
And I'm Hannah Wirtz. Thanks for joining us.
Clowns may have made their way into Manhattan, but not with the circus. Channel 8 News reporter Alicia Cedeso has more.
Creepy clowns could now be a potential problem for the residents of Manhattan. Clown sightings have been reported all across the United States and are now popping up in the Manhattan area as well as around the Kansas State University campus. Elijah Vanderpool, a junior at Kansas State University, reportedly spotted a clown in the Z parking lot just last week when he was walking back to his dorm room.
So I just gotten off work and it was kind of late, probably like 12:15 or 12:30, and I was walking back to the dorm and I saw this kind of like a blue Jeep looking vehicle drive by, and out of the corner of my eye I saw the passenger was wearing this clown mask, and so I kind of turned and got a better view of it. And I didn't see the driver, so I don't know if he was wearing one as well, but I for sure saw the passenger wearing a clown mask.
Vanderpool reported the incident to his dorm RA, but thinks these clowns are all just a big joke.
I think from what I've heard, it was maybe initially started by a couple of like pranksters in South Carolina. I think it's kind of a dumb prank to play, and since then it's kind of evolved to the point where there's like clowns that are threatening people.
Manhattan schools are also taking action due to these clown sightings. Last week, Lee Elementary posted an issue to parents on their Facebook page stating, "Generally speaking, these creepy clowns are not a threat to the public's safety." However, Topeka Police Department did respond to a complaint of a clown chasing children at a bus stop while brandishing a knife. When we contacted Riley County Police Department, they mentioned that there have been a few reported clown sightings, but none to raise alarm. In Manhattan, I'm Alicia Salcedo, Channel 8 News.
The Riley County Police Department does not wish to further comment on these clown sightings. However, they do encourage anyone who sees any suspicious clown activity to contact local authorities. Have you ever driven to Aggieville and not found a parking place? Well, according to a recent survey, you are not alone. Many Manhattan residents say they are not happy with the Aggieville parking situation. Reporter Scott Pop has more.
According to a survey the city of Manhattan sent out last spring, parking is the #1 thing people would change about Aggieville. The Aggieville Community Vision Survey was completed last spring by students, Manhattan residents, business owners, and more. Main themes that came up in the survey included pedestrian improvements, lighting, and outdoor seating. But the biggest theme by far was parking. Parking spaces like these behind me have been hard to come by in Aggieville, especially in prime hours. Linda Mays, executive director of the Aggieville Business Association, said they are trying to build more parking structures, especially a parking garage, to make room for more cars.
Yes, we did see the Aggieville survey on parking, and we do understand that parking is an issue, not only for our patrons that visit, but also for our businesses and people that live here. A couple of things that we're trying to do, we're working very closely with the city on getting developers down here so that we can have a parking garage, so that we can improve parking. It is, it's a strategic plan that has to be lined out. It will take some time, but we're definitely working on it.
Parking is not the only thing residents said they wanted. Other things mentioned on the survey include public seating, better pedestrian walkways, and better lighting.
We do realize that the lighting is old and outdated. We're changing some of the, we're changing the bulbs from regular to LED. We are looking at different designs for lighting so that it can cascade down a different way. The strategic plan laid out before us is probably about a 2 to 5 year process. It kind of just depends on how we'd go about it and what kind of funding there is available to us.
From Aggieville, I'm Scott Pop for Channel 8 News.
For those ready to see a change, it still might be a while. Mays said any big changes could take anywhere from 2 to 5 years.
The Beach Museum of Art served up plenty of cake alongside newly hung galleries during their Sunday evening 20th anniversary celebration. Students and locals of all ages joined together at the Beach Museum of Art to view the newly hung galleries, enjoy cake and lemonade, and to create hats with colored paper, stickers, and glitter. Participants of the celebration danced to music and showed off their hats by striking a pose in the photo booth. According to Beach Museum Director Lunda Duke, the museum has successfully showcased galleries for 20 years now thanks to the continued support of Manhattan residents and K-State students.
The Beach Museum really became possible because of an upwell of support from this community. It was not built with state money, it was built with private funds, and I think that's extraordinary.
Each permanent collections gallery has been newly installed and is open for viewing. The Beach Museum of Arts will continue its 20th anniversary celebration throughout the month of October with the K-State Night on October 27th. Open your fridge. Odds are you will find milk or cheese, but where does it come from?
Well, if you enjoy the smooth sounds of a saxophone, you don't have to travel too far.
What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle and to serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition, passion, you.
From the golden flowers that give our state its nickname, to Kansas City's smoky scarlet barbecue, past the unique tint of limestone bedrock, we drive with pride to support future K-Staters. From the hilltops of Lawrence to the familiar streets of Aggieville, we love to show our purple pride. Whether you are K-State alumni or Wildcat fans, purchase the #1 Affinity license plate in Kansas today and help us paint the highway purple.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community, progress, you.
Welcome back. Saxophone professor Anna Marie Whitecoat is here in the studio with Channel 8's own Grant Flanders. Her new CD was recently praised by Music Aficionado as one of the, quote, 10 classic recordings from 2016 that you must hear.
Thank you so much, Mitch. So it's not every day you get to meet a saxophonist. How did you get your start in this interesting career and a unique instrument?
Well, thank you for having me here. It's great to be here. And I would share with you that I was very fortunate to grow up in a musical family. My father is also a professional saxophonist, and I was very fortunate to grow up with two parents who encouraged me and supported me in my pursuit of music and the arts. And both of my parents made it a point to introduce me to all different types of music and different types of instruments. And in addition to studying saxophone, I also studied the piano very seriously.
So when did it hit you that you could possibly make a career out of this?
Throughout my life, I had the opportunity to be around high-level music making, both through my father's work, through his professional saxophone quartet, through his graduate saxophone program and undergraduate saxophone program. And I think throughout my life, I knew that I was very passionate about the saxophone, about sharing that passion with others, and I wanted to make that my career.
And then how did you start your career as an associate professor at Kansas State?
I was completing my master's degree in saxophone performance and pedagogy at the University of Minnesota when I was offered my position here at Kansas State University. I've been a saxophone teacher here for over 10 years now.
Okay. So Anna Marie Whitecoat, a saxophonist, your new recording CD, of course, has gotten high praise from Music Aficionado. How does that make you feel the high praise for that CD?
Well, I would share with you that it's an extreme honor to have been selected by this very prestigious journal as one of the top 10 classical CDs from 2016. So I'm truly humbled by this wonderful review. And I would state that this project, really the vision behind this project, was to record outstanding new music for saxophone that had not previously been recorded. So I'm very pleased to have recorded pieces by composers in Paris, France, a wonderful piece by a composer out in the Los Angeles area. And two of the works on this recording are by my tremendous colleague, Craig Weston, here at Kansas State University, who wrote a wonderful solo work for me, as well as a tremendous new trio for my professional trio.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
I might just share that the Kansas State University saxophone program just received some great news. My Kansas State University saxophone quartet was recently selected as the winner of the state of Kansas for the Music Teachers National Association competition.
Thank you so much, Anna Marie Wyko. And we'll send it back to the desk with Mitch and Hannah.
Well, thanks, Grant. That's awesome. In a state like Kansas that's highly dependent on agricultural, water is a valuable resource. A senior NASA water scientist has been working to track water availability, not just for Kansas, but around the world. Jay Familietti works with the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory at the it's California Institute of Technology. He visited K-State last week during the Henry C. Gardner Global Food Systems Lecture Series. Channel 8's Mackenzie Dinas has the story.
A new picture of water scarcity is coming into view, with the upper and lower regions of the planet becoming wetter, and the middle areas, including parts of the U.S., becoming drier.
Embedded in those drying mid-latitudes are these hot spots for water scarcity, which basically represent the world's major aquifer systems, which also coincide with the world's major food-producing regions. And we see that those aquifers are being depleted at unsustainable rates. So it's a pretty compelling picture that has huge implications for water availability and for food production as well.
The satellite system used to track water availability is known as GRACE, or the Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment. The satellites working in tandem measure variations in the Earth's gravitational field. When underground water is plentiful, the effect of gravity increases, pulling more on the satellites. When water is scarce, the effect is reduced, causing the satellites to rise in orbit.
So by keeping track of the ups and downs of the satellites, it's like keeping track of the surface of a scale, and it allows us to map out the regions underneath where those measurements are taken that are gaining or losing water mass on a monthly basis. So we can create these incredible maps. And these hot spots or these aquifers just pop right out.
2 undefeated programs hit the gridiron for their chance to hoist some silverware.
And the seasons are changing. How will that affect what's hanging in your closet? Stay tuned.
Oh my goodness, in the zone!
Lewis running the floor, catches, spins, and scores! How about that footwork? K-State have won in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The heart-pounding roar, a sea of purple, wielding twists and turns, a sincere smile, a simple phrase. Legacies that span generations, blurring the line between fans and family. Believing we bleed a different color. Foundations defined by a single stone. That special place you love full well. What makes traditions unforgettable? Loyalty. Purple. You.
Oh man, the fans, Manhattan, Octagon, the door, it's a tough place to play, we feed off the energy.
Dairy is a big part of our lives, from our morning milk in our cereal to cheese on our burgers.
Call Hall hosted their Day of Dairy, where students could learn the production side of the dairy industry.
Students met at Call Hall to begin the Day of Dairy to learn the production side of the dairy industry.
200 years ago, everybody had a cow and had a farm of some kind. There's very few people involved in production agriculture. Like 2% of the industry, something like 15 or 18 is indirectly involved in ag. But so it's just, we think we have a great story in agriculture. We're doing more with less. We feel like we have a very good product, and we want to teach people and inform people, and this is a chance for us to get in front of people that are interested in our industry.
From Call Hall, the students boarded a bus headed north of campus to the dairy farm. The students didn't just learn the process, they got to see hands-on where the dairy products come from.
Several of the students in attendance today are going to be future dietitians, and so they speak with clients, patients, customers about food, and they need to know the science, and they also need to know the journey of where food comes from. And so this is a hands-on experience to really get them on a farm. We have done some consumer research and know that several of our youth these days are far removed from the farm. And so this gives them an opportunity, if they've never been on a farm, and come visit and see this for themselves.
There's a lot of neat things going on processing-wise. We obviously have milk in a jug, ice cream, cheese, but then there's a lot of things going on. We were talking earlier today about, casein and different milk proteins and filtration systems, and how not only can we have less waste, but we're making more foods for more people that have more options, healthier options.
At the K-State Dairy Farm, I'm Juan Cisneros, Channel 8 News.
Call Hall's farm fresh dairy products and meats are available to all here on campus 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. I know I'll be heading there once we finish bringing you our fresh weekly news.
Some Purple Pride ice cream that sounds delicious. Researchers led by a Kansas State professor have discovered a vaccine that can change the landscape for foodborne illness. Researchers say the cattle vaccine can effectively reduce levels of E. coli by more than 50%. While E. coli doesn't affect cattle, this vaccine can protect consumers from the disease. David Renter, Associate Professor of Epidemiology and lead researcher, is confident that this discovery will have an impact, saying, "The vaccine is an option for reducing E. coli. We have shown that this vaccine works and that it is a tool that could be adopted in the industry." The research was funded in part by a 3-year, $1 million grant for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
And Hannah, is it time to start unpacking our sweaters yet?
Channel 8 weather, Kevin Bartram has the forecast.
Thanks, Mitch. Definitely time to start bringing out those sweaters today. Let's take a look at our national temperatures. Up in the west side, northwest, we got Seattle at 57 degrees, a typical temperature. Down in the Golden State in Los Angeles, we got a high of 73 degrees. Down in Dallas, we have 77 degrees, typical temperatures also. Look up in the Windy City in Chicago, we got 56 degrees. It's pretty cool right there right now. And down in Atlanta, we have a high of 83. And in the East Coast, we got New York with a high of 72. Up in Seattle, we got partly cloudy as usual. And in the Golden State, Sunshine State, we got sunshine in California. And down in Texas, we got sunshine as well. With this cold front moving in is why we are experiencing cold temperatures right now. So if you are growing produce, make sure you keep them covered. Look over in the Windy State. We also have sun, and in New York we got partly cloudy, and also in Florida. Let's take a look at the Kansas map. On the west side of Kansas we got 67 degrees, and the south we got 63 degrees. And with this cold front coming in, we can see in Clay County we got 61 degrees, and Jefferson 60 degrees. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Today's the coldest day of the week with a high of 62, with a low of 45, with 76 on Friday, 82 on Saturday, Sunday 86, and Monday 86.
Bill Snyder and the Wildcats get ready to hit the road to Norman, Oklahoma.
That's right, and as we get deeper into conference play, how do the Wildcats stack up? Find out here.
Limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions. A transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps. Oh, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well.
Is it near the Grand Canyon?
Our community is more than a group of people. It's a place where the golden rule becomes the purple rule. It's recognizing the value of every individual and affirming the importance of diversity. It's freedom to have a different perspective. It's honesty underscored with understanding. It's becoming a piece of the greater good. We are many, we are one. Most of all, we are family. What defines the K-State community? Compassion, honesty, you. Knowledge is more than a piece of paper. It's being committed to leaving the world a better place, dedicated to limitless learning, conducting research that is tried and true, and then tried again, crossing disciplines, blazing trails, discovering better methods that lead to global solutions. What is the K-State graduate student experience? Unrestricted, proven, you.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. The K-State football team celebrates their first conference win.
That's right, and two high school rivalries, battled out for a victory. Channel 8's sports reporter Lauren Kofer has us on the update.
Thanks, guys. It's been a weekend of wins for the Manhattan Sports. This past Saturday, packed Bill Snyder Family Stadium witnessed a thriller between your Wildcats and Texas Tech. The first half was filled with scoring for both teams. K-State getting it done in all phases, including a pick six from defensive back DJ Reed in the first quarter, and a 99-yard kick return for a touchdown from wide receiver Byron Pringle headed into halftime. The Red Raiders stayed right on pace with 4 touchdowns, all from star quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He ended the game with just over 500 passing yards. With a score of 31-28 in the Cats' favor going into half, it was clear this game come right to the final whistle. In the second half, both defenses stepped up. The lone score in the third quarter came from a Tech 34-yard field goal by kicker Clayton Hatfield. K-State started the fourth quarter hot, getting their unanswered scores by way of Charles Jones' rushing touchdown and 2 Matthew McCrane field goals. Jones finished the night with 128 yards on 19 carries. Texas Tech was able to score 1 more touchdown in the final seconds of the game, but it wasn't enough. K-State won 44-38, giving Coach Snyder a nice present on his 77th birthday. The 2-2 Wildcats head to Norman, Oklahoma this Saturday for a battle against the 19th-ranked Sooners at 11 a.m. Kansas State volleyball hit a bump in the road last night, losing the Sunflower Showdown to the Jayhawks in Lawrence. Their most recent win against TCU with a score of 3-1 last Saturday. Susie Fritz gives us some more input on how she feels about the current state of the team.
You know, given that it's mid-October, you know, we're not quite halfway through the first half conference play. So at this point, I think we're right where we expected to be, and still fighting to get better. You know, midway through the season, you're always fighting off, trying to keep everybody healthy and trying to keep everybody motivated, and I think every team is going through that a little bit. But we're in a good place. We're in a good place right now. We're playing relatively well. Our key players are really, I feel like, propelling us forward. And, you know, on any given night, we have a number of people playing relatively well. So I think we like where we're at.
K-State women's volleyball has been going strong this season with an overall record of 14-4 and a conference record of 3-2, a home record of 8-2, and an away record of 3-1. When you think about rivalries in K-State sports, the first to come to mind is the most likely the Sunflower Showdown between KU and K-State, but however, that is not likely the case. Back to you guys at the desk.
between the two, the Manhattan Indians and Junction City Blue Jays have been rivals for decades. This football game played between the two each year is one that fans of both teams circle on their calendars.
So we've been a rival, since I can remember. I mean, I know since I was maybe 8 years old coming to the football games, and Manhattan was always the biggest game with hundreds of people in the stands being filled up with parents, supporters, everybody from all around.
Both teams put their undefeated records on the line Friday night, and the energy in the stadium was intense. Along with bragging rights, the winning team gets to take home the silver trophy for the remainder of the year. The trophy is a long-standing tradition between the two schools, with the Indians claiming victory more times than the Blue Jays in the rivalry's history.
I mean, we've been out here every year. We have this giant rivalry. Schools go at it, student sections go at it. Football teams are usually pretty good, so it's a great game. And whoever wins is silver trophy champs right there.
At the end of the game, the winning team is presented the trophy and another tally in the win column. In 2015, the Blue Jays beat the Indians 17-14. But this year, the silver trophy found a new home as Manhattan was able to pull out a 27-22 victory over Junction City in the fourth quarter. The trophy will stay in Manhattan until the two meet again next season. In Junction City, I'm Rachel Tucker, Channel 8 News.
Mitch, K-State is getting some national recognition.
That's right. Don't miss your final bit of news here on Channel 8.
Open doors, warm hellos, classes spark ideas, traditions create memories, labs lead to partners, late nights, crazy nights. Hail, hail, hail? Studying hard, hardly studying. One last Manhattan sunset, caps and gowns, pomp and circumstance. We're on this journey together, remembering that every open door can lead to a warm hello. What is the K-State experience? Family, pride, you.
Family is everything. They're the reason you work so hard and your motivation to reach for more. Your K-State family offers a way to get that degree you've always wanted. Kansas State University Global Campus provides flexible online learning and professional development opportunities. We'll be there when you're ready. Enroll now for K-State Global Campus. Always on, always there.
Knowledge is more than a piece of paper. It's being committed to leaving the world a better place, dedicated to limitless learning, conducting research that is tried and true, and then tried again, crossing disciplines, blazing trails, discovering better methods that lead to global solutions. What is the K-State graduate student experience? Unrestricted, proven, you.
That's all we have for Channel 8 News today. Make sure you tune in next week. Thank you very much.
This is Channel 8 News.